I forgot to unmute myself. Good morning. How are you this morning, Amelia? Definitely forgot to unmute myself, my man. Did you take any trades pre-market this morning? Good morning, Applejacks. How are you this morning? Okay, be right back. All right. So the bad weather gets here. Not today, it's Friday. Got you. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to the store. I don't know how successful I'll be, but I'm gonna try. Try real hard. But I really don't feel like going anywhere. Oh, what a push. It might fail on me. Current opens right there, which is a level of support. Oh, these levels, they drive me crazy. There's too much volume in that bar for us to be touching a level. That's my fault. I'm literally sick of levels. Just tired of them. Overall, just over it. Completely. Like, completely. My God, so annoying. So freaking annoying. It's my laying on the couch day. I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, this had to do with the level being there. It's cool. I have to rewire my brain for it. All right, I do have to stop for news. We have 8:45 high impact news and then 9 a.m. medium impact news. So we'll brace for that. That is like, I'm so tired of making small mistakes like that. That irritates me a lot. Like a lot. Especially with these levels, because I'm still trying to completely figure it out, but it's all good. I'm just annoyed. Where's Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What is the okay, so I can blow this account today. Cool. Because I have less than the daily loss limit on it, which is fine. All right, there's news. One more minute, then I'm clear to trade. It's gonna be so annoying blowing this Tradeify account because I was like $1,200 in profit on it, but it's whatever. It means I'm almost there, but not quite. Still. Good morning, Diego. How are you this morning? Oh, your internet's down? Oh no. You might not be missing much of anything. Might be a good thing. Now we said the same thing at the same time, Amelia. Just lay down in my bed and chill. So much for ChatGPT in the morning. My brain is fried. Needed a rest. I swear. I swear. I told my granny what I told y'all yesterday about, like, I'm 35. I don't want to use my brain this way. I've done this my whole life. No thanks. It's good to learn new things, especially when you're trying to truly understand something. But baby, sometimes it's just like, you know what? I kind of liked not knowing. Because then you start thinking about all these other things and it's like, okay, but what about this and what about that? And okay, but this over here. And it's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I do know something that I'm going to have to do this weekend that I'm really irritated that I have to do, but I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to convert some of my data to bid ask and make a final decision on which one I want to use. Because some of these require like traps and stuff like that, I think I'm going to be forced to use bid ask, which is not a problem. But I have to convert the data, number one, and then because of like little small things I told you guys yesterday that I was paying attention to, like pullbacks need to overlap the previous reversal bar, things like that. There's just certain data that I don't have in this data set. 1, 2, 3, 4. That I need. So I'm gonna have to do that, and I'm actually kind of annoyed. Like, I know when it's a week, well, not a week, when it's a divergence pattern where like the pullback swing before I enter is a smaller pullback than the previous one, the overlap like this is fine. But if it's a bigger pullback, it's not fine. Just little things like that that I've noticed since I think I started converting to bid ask. Maybe I don't know how much data I have so far, but and I just started paying attention to that specific thing as well. I probably have like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe like 6 days of data so far or something like that. There's a difference. I don't like when there's a difference. So I'm gonna have to get that together. It's like another thing that I kind of realized a little bit is that pullback shouldn't have traps. Yeah, only divergence can pretty much. There might be one particular pattern where it's fine, but traditionally it's not fine. I can't see what the... Like this overlap right now is not fine. Bigger pullback, 15.75 points versus 14. It shouldn't be an overlap because divergence is about rejection, not acceptance, right? based on auction theory. Anytime you have an overlap of the entry bar with the previous reversal bar, that is the market attempting to accept price. That should not be happening on divergence unless it's a smaller, like if this was less than 14 points of a pullback, that's fine. But when it's more, it's not fine. So it's like little things like that. That can cause issues. When price rotates over a level, price is attempting to accept, auction is attempting to accept price at that point. So point of control can't be in the wick of the entry bar, because that means that price was accepted here instead of here. So it's just like little small things like that that I've been learning over the last like 3 or 4 weeks. But trying to put it all together, take certain things out of my mind is a lot. Like the trade that I lost would have been a great trade if the pivot level wasn't there. I wasn't really worried that we pushed through these levels all the time. But the pivot level, and that's the major pivot level, if it was truly going to act as resistance, it shouldn't have took so much volume there. There's a fight. Shouldn't be a fight. So, but I think I'm like really, really close. I think once I go through that other data set, and there's just so much more data in that set. Once I go through that data set, I'll be fine. Yeah, data is key. I heard somewhere you can only improve what you can measure. That's been exactly. And that's why, as annoying as it is for me to continue to collect data in the volume that I have, it is what it is. And like each data set that I have is for a reason. You know what I mean? I noticed something different. Like I told you guys, all of the data that I've collected over the last 2 years means nothing, because I was measuring the swings with volume and not ticks. And it's a huge difference. And I'm not going back and converting all of that. It's no point. Because patterns are very repeatable no matter what. Well, auction theory patterns are very repeatable no matter what instrument you're on. No matter if the market is volatile or choppy. No matter whether there's a lot of volume or a little bit of volume, I see the same patterns. And that's what drives me crazy, is the attempt to quantify them properly, right? So now, like I said, all my other data is obsolete because of the way I was calculating swing, structure, or distance. Well, I was going off of volume instead of distance. And then, like I said, yesterday, I just randomly noticed, like, wait a second. 2 of these trades that I lost that were pullbacks were things like this, where now the market wants to push down and create a bearish reversal bar. Well, yes, technically, structure-wise, this is a pullback. But again, pullbacks are based on the market attempting to accept price. We're not accepting price by pushing all the way up here to create a bearish reversal bar. It should be somewhere around here. This is not acceptance. If it was down here, it's the market attempting to accept. That's something that I just realized like yesterday. No, the day before yesterday, because I wrote it in my journal, but I didn't. It was like, maybe you haven't been paying attention to this. Like maybe there's another reason for this loss. No, it was because there was a lack of overlap. Literally, oh, we got to stop for 9 o'clock news anyway. I'll read to you guys what ChatGPT said about pullbacks. So in Ringo's, obviously, when my entry bar doesn't overlap the previous reversal bar, it's a warning sign and it invalidates the pullback thesis. Not always, but often enough that it must be respected. Why overlap matters: a pullback does not mean price went against the trend and then turn. A pullback is the market is testing a previously accepted price area to see if it will still be accepted. Acceptance means price rotation, means bar overlap. So it says what so let's say I'm getting into a sell right here, and let's say we're in a pullback and we're down here somewhere. What this bar, the previous reversal bar, represents is the last rotation where value was accepted. The last rotation where value was established in the direction of the trend. It's where trade previously balanced, inventory was comfortable, both sides participated. So when price pulls back for swing C, which is the last swing before my entry bar, the auction is asking, is this area still fair value? Overlap in pullbacks is classic pullback behavior. It means price came back into prior value, two-sided trade resumed, the auction is accepting price. A lack of overlap says rejection, not acceptance, and rejection is not classic for pullbacks. It means that price, if there is a lack of overlap, it means that price never re-entered prior value. One side dominated the entire move. There's no rotation. There's no acceptance. And that's a problem. Now, I will say that I realized that some of my divergent structures could actually be consolidated into one. Because divergence is a little bit different from pullbacks in a sense that pullbacks, it matters how the ABC swing started. So like a lower low into a higher high into a higher low is different than a higher low into a higher high into a higher low. And the reason why the start matters is because with pullbacks, again, we are looking for price acceptance. So we have to know how price started, right? With divergence, it's about how everything ended. So in the ABC pattern, A, B, and C matter for pullbacks, but only B and C matter for divergence. So I was able to consolidate, which makes me happy. That's less things for me to look at. But that's stuff that I literally just learned. I wanted ChatGPT to explain to me why like certain things like that matter. And I got my answer. But now I just feel like I can go into next week really, really strong if I go ahead and convert the first bit of this data set that I have, convert it to bid ask. I know it's not going to be 100% accurate. Most of the time with tick replay data, it'll be accurate, but I just know it's not 100% because I didn't see it in real time, if that makes sense. But I'm going to do that and then, hold on to the other little things that also matter. And I think I'll be all right. I think I will. See you, Applejacks. Have a great weekend. All right, now. Oh, there's a neutral point of control and it moved down. Yeah, I want the point of control to stay high to show rejection. But yeah, when I tell you guys I'm literally right there, it's just undoing some of the things in my brain. Because I was trying to make sense. I was trying to quantify what I saw on the charts, which I wasn't doing it. Well, I was doing it incorrectly because I just had things a little bit backwards as far as how I was measuring things. But yeah, once I undo those little things, I'll be so good. So that's why this weekend I definitely want to take the time to fix that data, and then I think I'll be good from there. Oh, point of control is sliding. Now, I don't know if it needed to be a trap. It's not a trap, it's a continuation, but we'll see. Because right now I don't have that it has to be a trap. Trap is probably better though, but let's see if we can push through VWAP. There you go. This is one of my favorite divergence patterns because it shows exhaustion. 84 bars is more than 11 is more than 10. So it's the opposite of compression, it's expansion, but the buyers had to try really, really hard to expand the move, which they shouldn't have to if they're truly like in control. Now, obviously we were doing this around VWAP, which still doesn't matter based on how I'm trading. But yeah, that was just a very classic move. Point of control was in the wick to show that the exhaustion move led to exhaustion in the entry bar, and rejection because the point of control was in the wick, and that was literally all I was looking for. All right, we stayed there too long, I think. 296, 305. Yeah, we did. Might still work out, but that has nothing to do with me. But yeah, once I figure out those little tiny small things that are holding me back, man, oh man, oh man. Good morning, Pred. How are you this morning? That's the overlap I don't really want. Now, I don't know if overlaps are okay at like levels or anything, but I just want us to clear this reversal bar if we're going to push down. This is the same pattern as this. It's just this was more extended. But you see how much volume we have in this bar? These are both resistance levels. It shouldn't be that much volume there. Now it could be okay because there was higher volume on the push up though. So that's one thing that I'm trying to figure out. If this is okay because of this. There was more volume on the push up than the previous push down, which can mean that we need more volume to push everything back down. So legit, that's the only reason I didn't take that trade. But I think that when we have the higher volume on the pullback, then the higher volume to push down is okay. Good, good. But yeah, if I can, I'm going to try to do everything in stages so I don't get overwhelmed. But I'll probably after I go to the store today, I'm not tired because I took a crazy nap yesterday. Even though I went to bed kind of late last night, I had a really nice nap. So I'm not tired at all. So I think when I come home, I'll go ahead and start the conversion of the first part of this data set. And like I said, the only thing I need to do is convert to bid ask, which I think I already have 3 of the days are already converted, but I still need to go back and point out when bars overlap. So I have to point out when bars overlap on divergence, all divergences, no matter what. And then I have to point out when it's a pullback and there is no overlap. Those are the 2 things that I have to do: convert to bid ask and do the overlap for divergence and point out when it's not overlap for pullbacks. And I think that will complete my data. And I think I should be able to take that and do exactly what I need to do with it. I figured out, like, so on this, I think it's the first time that on my analysis sheet, basically, if the point of control is a continuation, meaning buyers are in control in a bullish bar and vice versa for sellers in a bearish bar, I wrote it in black. If it's a trap, I wrote it in pink. So that way it was very easy for me to distinguish things. And then so because my data set is based on bid ask, if let's say bid ask was a continuation but up down tick was a trap, then I would write everything in black because it's a continuation, but then I would put a pink dot to show that, hey, on up down tick it was a trap. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way I can like distinguish between them and see which one is actually more 1, 2, 3, 4, which one makes more sense. Oh, point of control is at the open of the bar. Now I push to the body. But yeah, and then if my entry bar touches a level of some sort, I have different colors for those. So if it's touching like this buy rotation level, it's a certain color. I'm going to take this trade, even though there's high volume here, only because we just had high volume here. And I think it was okay because of this. If I lose the trade, it's fine. And it's probably going to lose because it's the one I took. So I'm going to go back to my initial thing of I'm just not going to take the high volume bars. It's fine. But anyway, so I distinguished the colors, distinguished between levels based on colors. That way I can figure out which levels matter and which ones don't. I think that's it. Now, I wonder if I have a theory about this one though, because this one, there was a higher, this was the opposite of compression. This is a different divergence, and this was a short swing. So I think that's a little bit different. So maybe and it's gonna go. So I just got stopped out for it to go exactly where I wanted it to go. How wonderful. Open 650 high, but that's all good. I knew the risk. That's why I said it out loud before I even took the trade. What a push down. 30 something points. Oh no. I tried to get out of the trade. Oh, that just pissed me off. I double clicked because I was actually trying to get out of the trade, but then I got filled. The point of control moved up to the body, which is not where I wanted it to be. All right, well, the Tradeify account is about to be cooked, and it's whatever. I gotta fail it today anyway, but that's annoying. I was trying to unclick the button before I got filled, and it just put me in a double entry. How great. How great. Oh, that's so annoying. Gosh, that's annoying. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Very stupid market. 550. Gosh, that's so annoying. See, that was a continuation, but that was a trap. Mm-hmm. Oh, that just irritated me. 2, 3, 4. I've taken 5 trades and literally only one of them was valid. I took the chance on one of them. The very first trade, I forgot that the level was even there and to not take that particular trade. I just got well, okay, I took 4 trades, but got a double entry that I wasn't trying to actually be in. And then the fourth one was like a chance trade, like, oh, well, we just did this, even though the divergent structure was a little bit different. So the one trade that I took where I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I'm looking for, it won. Much I think this account, yeah, this account should blow on the next trade. Get that ready for rebill on Sunday, I think it is. All these pop-ups about this boxer that's a new ambassador. I don't care. Where's the billing? Bro. Did that touch VWAP up there? I don't know. High 2750. It actually didn't touch it, but it would have been a break even no matter what. I manually broke even, but that was going to be a break even regardless. Oh, maybe even for all right, I was trying to look to see what my make sure I have my billing date correct. What the heck? All right, billing is, yes, Sunday. Okay, perfect. So I did get it right. So the prior high it is. I am so surprised we actually pushed up. That bar has like negative almost 200 delta. I did not expect us to push up at all. 44.50. You're so hungry? All right, you in here sounding like Apple Jacks. I genuinely might not even go to the store because we have quite a bit of food and my mom went yesterday. The only thing I'm really missing is almond milk and I don't feel like leaving my house for almond milk. I'll just make my smoothie with water and keep it moving. All right, let's go over the trades. Like I said, I took five trades. I'm just kind of annoyed a little bit. All right. So this was the first trade I took. There was too high a volume in this bar, which is what I would typically want if a level was not there, but a level is there. So yeah. All right. Next trade. Was here. This was legit the only trade that I was actually confident in and the only trade that actually followed my rules besides I think one other one that I just took that was a break even. Um, yeah. Uh, this is one of my favorite divergences, and it worked out. So this trade I legit only took because even though it was a high volume bar off of resistance, this one was too, and this one worked out. But I think this one worked out because this was a deeper pullback compared to here, and this one was a shallow pullback compared to there. Then this was the trade I actually did not want to be in, and I got into a double entry because I was trying to click the button to not have the order there, but the order was already in the process of getting filled. So a double loss there. This was the other trade that I was cool with. This one would have been I manually stopped out, manually broke even, but it was going to be a break even anyway, which is cool. And that's really it. So I'm going to actually take another trade as soon as I'm done with stream, just to blow the Tradeify account. Like I said earlier, it's kind of annoying because I was actually making really good progress on this account. And this week, with everything just jumbled up in my brain, having Monday off, Tuesday was so volatile. Like, it's just being in the process of learning and unlearning, learning, relearning the proper way. It's a lot, like mentally. And I didn't make any mental mistakes. It's just the way I analyzed the data was incorrect because I'm still analyzing based on like what I thought I knew versus what auction theory is actually saying, if that makes sense. So to be almost halfway to passing and then having to just go ahead and finish blowing the account is very annoying, and it's very draining mentally, I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, I really think that if I just go ahead and convert my first part of my data set to what I'm doing now and paying attention to those small things of overlap with divergence, over making sure pullbacks overlap, and then making the final distinction and choice on whether bid ask is best or up down tick, I think we'll be fine. According to ChatGPT, if I'm going to force a trade to be a trap or want a trade to be a continuation, which is pretty important, I think, for pullbacks at least, that there is no trap. It says that bid ask is best because up down tick does not show intent. It only paints ticks based on direction. So it was saying that like up down tick with wrinkles is kind of like a redundant information if I'm going to care about whether something is a trap or a continuation. It also said bid ask is the only way to accurately track direction because you want to see where the intent is, and the intent is based on market orders, not passive limit orders. Now in my brain that's kind of backwards, because for me, if I'm on Rinkos and Rinkos is price based, the only way for you to really see like the passive orders is if you stay on up down tick, because when passive orders are absorbing the market orders, it's going to show a little bit different on up down tick than it would on bid ask. I can typically see where absorption is happening just based on like volume down here. For instance, let's see. Like this right here is absorption. Why? Because on this push down, there was really high volume, okay, compared to here. And then on the reversal up, there's less volume than the highest bar pushing down. That's absorption. I don't need to see bid ask to see that. I don't. It's either absorption or rejection, one of the two. This one was absorption with rejection. So I just have to figure out which of those settings I'm going to use. And it's going to be a process. So I'm probably going to convert everything today, put everything in the analysis sheet tomorrow, and then have Sunday to like rest my brain, analyze the data to create the cheat sheet going into next week, and leave it at that. Am I going to blow the Tradeify account? Yes, I'm going to blow it so it can rebuild. It's only like $170. Why are you taking trades that don't follow your rules? because I'm still, not to say confused, but I'm still trying to figure out the rule base altogether when it comes to being at levels, basically. And with that particular trade that I took, that I was the one I actually got into. The other one where it was the double entry, I wasn't trying to get into that. The order was there because the point of control was in the wick. And when I saw it switch to the body right as the bar was closing, I tried to click the button to take the order off. But because of where price was, it was a double entry. Like, it didn't take it off because the bar had already closed. But the one trade that I took that was against the rules, that I purposely took against the rules, is just because there was high volume going up and then high volume coming down. And so I think that it works, but only when it's a huge swing. When it's a smaller swing, I don't think it works that well. Yeah, because if the pullback is a high swing bar, then it takes more orders to create that swing, the huge swing. So if it needs to create even more orders to push everything back down, like it's called forced participation. I think forced participation works only when it's a high swing pullback, basically. But it's okay. It's all good. This week has been off indeed. Yeah. But that's legit the only reason why I went ahead and took it. Because where did it go? Like I said, here you see very high volume. We're pushing off of resistance. But I think that it worked out because when you look, this pullback, 19 points, was higher than the 17.25. So there's more buyers in this bar to push the swing, which you can see on volume down here. It took more buyers to push the market up than it did sellers to push the market down, right? So that means that the sellers are pretty active. So it taking a lot of volume to push everything back down makes sense. This one, from an auction theory standpoint, I only took it because I saw this work back here, but this doesn't work. Why? Because this one's a little bit different. If you look, this is a 15-point swing up versus a 15.75 swing up. So there's already less buyers here. So even though it took a lot of buyers to push things up, they didn't go very far. So it shouldn't take so many sellers to push things back down, if that makes sense. This one, it took a lot of buyers. They actually succeeded in pushing price further than they did last time. So it can take more sellers to push it back down, even with the resistance level being there. So yeah, this one was just a chance trade and it didn't work out, and it's cool. But yeah, see you, pray, have a great weekend. But yeah, let me show you guys the account. I think I took a picture. I did zoom in. Definitely probably the worst week that I've had since Christmas. So in a month. And I don't really know if not to say I don't care, because obviously I do care, but I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with it because this was, like, to me, a week full of a lot of unlearning, relearning properly, paying attention to things I wasn't paying attention to before. And so this was just like a, hey, it is what it is kind of week. I'm not upset about it. The only thing I get annoyed with is, like, why didn't I notice these things before? Like, I've been looking at the charts from the same perspective for 2 years. Why didn't I notice these things before? Why didn't I notice that sometimes on the pullback, the bars don't overlap? Like, I noticed it, but I didn't think that it mattered. Let me say that. Because things that I realized matter, I saw it, but I didn't know that it mattered. So, but it's cool. So I think that also I'm only going to journal the trades that I took probably today. Actually, I'll probably journal everything. I'll probably journal everything just because it's Friday. I have the weekend, but I'm going to journal, get all of that stuff together, and then start on the process of converting, because I'm not going to the store for no freaking almond milk. It is what it is. I'm not doing it. Call me lazy. I don't want to do it. But anyway, so yeah, I only have $178 left on this account, so I'm going to go ahead and blow it. I got 955 left on the TPT account, which I think that account is fresh. I think it renewed on like the 15th, so that's not good. And then the Apex account, I still have $1,500 in drawdown, which I just started this account on Tuesday. So it just sucks that like I bought the Apex account because I was starting to trade my PA, but then when I had the bad day on Tuesday, I'm like, hold on, it's not time, right? But I had already bought the account. I wouldn't have bought the account if I didn't think that I was actually ready to start trading the PA, but it is what it is. Can't rush things. I love to be making lots of money in my accounts, but hey, it doesn't work like that. Exactly. And I've always been a huge proponent of taking the time to learn. But unfortunately, sometimes when you think you're learning, you are, but you're not learning the correct things, or you're not learning the correct processes or whatever. And that's been the most frustrating thing, honestly, about the last couple of weeks, is when you come to the realization that it's not to say that the last 2 years have been a waste of time, because it hasn't. I've learned a lot. But I just wish that I was learning from this perspective 2 years ago. I would be like, it wouldn't have taken me 2 years to get to that point. You know what I mean? Like, and it all started from me reverse engineering things. That's where it all started. So yeah, this last month has been a lot, very draining mentally. And it's probably because I'm very hard on myself, especially when it comes to anything like from a scholar aspect. I'm very hard on myself because I'm a very smart. I tell anybody, trading is the only thing in life that's ever made me feel dumb. I am so smart. I can learn things so quickly, understand things so quickly, but trading makes me feel so slow, like so dumb. And it's the most challenging. It's probably legit the most challenging thing I've ever done in my life. And that's why I've always like quit for a couple years, come back, quit for a couple years, because it's like, I don't feel like feeling defeated. You know what I mean? Especially when I was deep in my nursing career. Like, why am I going to sit here and let this shit stress me out? Like, I'm on the highs and lows. I'm profitable, then I'm not. Why do I want to sit here and stress me out when I can go work for over $40 an hour and do nothing? Like, my job was easy, right? And it's not that I want trading to be easy. It's just like the process of learning is so frustrating. Oh my God, it's so annoying. It does work for some though, but not me. I'm gonna tell you, it don't. People are like, when you really think about it, and people will literally say it out of their mouths, like, you just have to be good enough for 5 days, for 8 days, like whatever. And they're okay with only being good for whatever few number of days they need to be good at to get payouts. They're okay with not being good traders. They say it out of their own mouths. I'm not calling them bad traders. They call themselves bad traders, right? They're okay with being profitable. And there is nothing more frustrating than like knowing that you can just kind of like gamble it, guess it, and get to where you want to be payout wise. But not everybody mentally can do that. I can't. Because this for me, trading is a challenge. I want to master the markets. I want to master understanding why it works and seeing things and knowing, oh, this is about to set up. As long as this is like this, I'm taking the trade. Like, that's where I want to be. I don't want to sit here and be frustrated because I think the market's going to do something. There's no historical patterns that would show that it would do that, but I think it's going to do it, or I want it to do it, so I take the trade. Like, that would mess with me mentally. I don't care about my red days these last like 2 weeks. I've only had red days 2 weeks out of the last 4. I don't care about it being red days. I care about the fact that in the process of me unlearning and relearning, that I'm not like I'm failing from that perspective. if that makes sense. That's what I'm annoyed about. Red, whatever. I can fix that. But that's like the very annoying thing. Good morning, Trenches. How are you this morning? You sitting on a train? Makes me an example when I try to cut corners. I swear, Diego, I swear, I've always lived by the notion of like, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be the example. Like when pretty sure I told y'all this story before, but when I got high off of edibles for the first and only time ever in my life, I literally was in the ambulance. The guy, I was crying. I was trying to cry, but I couldn't cry. I was trying to cry because they wouldn't let my best friend sit back there with me. And the man wouldn't hold my hand. And I just kept telling him, sir, I'm about to die. I'm about to die. But I felt like I was going to die because I couldn't feel my heartbeat. And it was warranted because my resting heart rate at the time was only like a 65 to 70. And my heart was beating at 140 beats per minute. Of course, I can't feel my heart. It's beating too fast. But anyway, I kept telling him like, he's like, ma'am, you're not going to die. Nobody. I'm like, yes, I'm going to be the first person in history to ever die of a weed overdose because I'm always the example. I swear, that man was so irritated. But yeah, been on the same journey as you 2 years now. Yeah, it made 2 years for me now in December. And I'm going to tell you, it has taken everything in me to not, I know exactly where my journals are from 3 years ago when I was consistently, like I was barely ever losing trades. And I was primarily trading divergence. That's the crazy thing. I was not really trading continuous. I was trading divergence primarily. But anyway, it has taken everything in me not to just say fuck it and go back to my old journals and just put my charts however they were, which I was trading Rinkos. I was trading Rinko divergence. It's taking everything in me to not go back. But I don't want to go back because then I won't be able to just trade in the first hour of the market being open. I can't sit here all day. I can't. Wish I've been on the same method as I am today from day one. Yeah, I swear. I swear. But yeah, you didn't know that. Baby, listen. When I tell you that story is one for the ages, all of my friends always talk about it. Anytime they see anything on social media about somebody being super high and doing crazy stuff, and I didn't do nothing crazy. I had an overdose for real because I eventually started throwing up. But every time I would throw up within like 10 seconds, I would pass out. And I could literally feel myself in the process of passing out, but I couldn't stop it. It's like, boom. Like, it was so bad. It was so bad that, first of all, I didn't let I had a mean hospital bill between the ambulance and going to the ER, even though I didn't even see the doctor. I had a mean bill. Like, I'm talking like $2,600, right? And first of all, I was high as hell, but I heard the firefighter asking my friend, like, is she suicide? I'm like, hey, I can hear you, no. And then I was still so aware. I'm like, hey, I work at such and such hospital. Please don't take me there. And do not take me to a psych ward because I'm just high. And I've never been high before. And I don't want to be high. And I want to unhigh myself. I just want to be unhigh. I swear to y'all, I didn't let her drive me in my car. And I later found out she does know CPR, but I didn't think she knew CPR. I'm like, what if I die on the way to the hospital? You don't know CPR. I found out later she does. But everything just, I swear to y'all, I thought that when I got home, because she was like, I'm not letting you get an even bigger hospital bill. I'm not letting the doctor see you. So you keep passing out. Like, eventually I stopped throwing up. Once I stopped throwing up, I would just sleep on her shoulder in the hospital, in the waiting room, or not in a way, like, yeah, in the like waiting room outside. She was like, girl, we calling an Uber. We going home. I'm not letting you. I'm like, all right. So when we got back, I went to sleep. When I woke up, I swear to y'all, the first thing I said was, Ashley, I'm alive. But when I woke up, when I was high, I woke up, I said, Ashley, I'm high. She was like, good. I said, no. And I wouldn't have panicked if my one friend who got high all the time would have answered his phone. He didn't answer his phone. He was the only person I knew that could calm me down because he's always high, right? So that's when I was like, I panicked. Girl, call 911. I can't. But anyway, so when we got back and I fell asleep, I woke up. I was like, Ashley, I'm alive. She started cracking up. I was like, no, really, I'm actually alive. Like, I'm pinching myself and stuff. Y'all, I thought it was the next day. Only like 3 hours had passed. It was only like 3 hours. I thought it was the next day. It was so bad. It was so bad. And let me tell y'all, this heifer. So this is my best friend since 6th grade. She's my only female best friend. Really my only female friend. Like in real life. And she was like, girl, next time. I said, next time? Are you well? Why would you even use those words next time? I have never. You can't give me an edible. You can't give me. I was just curious. Like, I've been drunk before. I hated it. I know my limits. Once I start feeling a little bit tipsy, I'm done because I don't want to ever be drunk again. But I was like, I know people who get high all the time, and I'm just curious. Like, I just wanted to be a little buzzed, but it took so long for the edibles to metabolize in my body. It was like I just took another half a piece like every 45 minutes to an hour because I'm like, it's not working. And I have a really high tolerance. Like, even though I don't drink a lot or things like, I have a really high it takes a long time for me to actually feel tipsy and drunk. Like, it has to be on an empty stomach, taking like multiple shots. Like, I have a high tolerance. So I knew I had a high tolerance to the weed too, because I had tried to get high before, like smoking. My friends are high. I'm not. They like, you're not inhaling properly. So I'm doing things the way they tell me. And I'm like, okay, edibles, whatever. Baby, let me tell you something. And then I was up for like 24 hours on top of an empty stomach, on top of taking a half a piece every 45 minutes to an hour and it not working, baby. When it all hit me, it hit me while I was asleep. Like, I'm literally dreaming. And this is when I was living in California in an Airbnb because I was on my travel assignment. So I'm sleeping, right? And I was in a mother-in-law quarter. So I'm in the back of the house, but I can hear my neighbors like on the other side of the wall, right? So in my dream, it's like I can hear his voice and it's like bouncing around in my head. So I woke up and I turned my head, but my head turned like 5 seconds after I thought I did it. And I thought I was just dreaming. So I'm like, let me just let it in. I woke back up. I hear his voice bouncing in my head. I tried to turn my head. It took 5 seconds again. And that's when I was like, am I alive? Am I awake? Because I have a lot of dreams where like it's a dream within a dream, meaning I'm dreaming. I'm trying to wake up, or I think I'm waking up, but I'm not actually. Like, I can see myself. I can feel myself doing things, but nothing's like happening in real life. So I'm thinking I'm like in the transition stage of waking up. No, I was awake. And that's why I was like, Ashley, I'm high. She's like, good. No, it's not good. It was bad, y'all. It was so bad. Have a good weekend, Diego. It was so bad. Like, Ashley, to this day, if she like has any friends around that are doing edibles, she like watches over them. No, because my friend Keamber, I'm like, hey girl, don't be telling my business. don't do that. But yeah, never again. Never again. One day I'm gonna have her on the stream so she can tell y'all everything from her perspective. Y'all will crack up. Okay, y'all will crack up. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I wish I had an edible to relax myself for all of this that I have to do this weekend. It's gonna take me so much time. So much time. But I'm gonna get it done. And I'm gonna go into next week feeling good about everything. And I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah. This account renews Sunday, so it'll be fresh, which is fine. Even if I fail the TPT account, the Tradeify account will be fresh, so it's all good. That's why I have them 2 weeks. The renewals are about 2 weeks out from each other, so that I don't have a problem with not having an account. We'll just go from there. But I thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Please like the video on your way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys bright and early Monday morning. I was about to say tomorrow, Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Enjoy the rest of your day, your weekend. Be safe, especially in this storm that's coming. And I will see you guys Monday. Bye.